It's unfortunate to say that one of the most frequent first calls I get with a prospect or just somebody reaching out for some help, which I'm always happy to talk to, is it's a sense of desperation that their pipeline is gone. It's something there's no future business. It's very often it'll happen in November. I'll get that call when somebody's looking at their next year and realizing they have no confirmed jobs, and they're in a bit of a panic because they know nothing's going to happen in December. And yeah, desperation is the only word that really describes the feeling that people have when they suddenly realize they don't know where their next meal is coming from. They don't know when their next revenue is going to be. And it doesn't mean zero revenue. It just means enough revenue to have an impact or keep the business going. Innocent is a sad call, but they're asking for help, and so yeah, we got to help, right? What can we do to help? The ask is typically, how can I get some revenue in the next 90 days so that I can survive? Which is okay. It's the question they want answered, but the real question, of course, is going to be, what can we do to keep this from ever happening again? Because the fact is, they're in this situation. It doesn't take very many questions to find out that they're in this situation because they've done absolutely no marketing. They have a website. Boom. That's it. That's the sum total of their marketing. They did a newsletter one time and nobody looked at it, so they don't do it anymore. They don't go to events. They don't invite people to their offices. They don't do anything. It's all word of mouth. The phone rings, an email comes with, they get a form filled out on their website, which arguably those are not the best leads because those are pretty uncurated leads. And that's something that marketing does, is it curates things for you. So desperation is, what can I do now? And I have the answer for them. It's real simple because you're in a desperate situation. If you want revenue now, call everybody you've ever done business with and say, hey, do you have any events coming over the next 90 days? I'd love to take a crack at it for you. And then when they do say, yeah, we're doing this, price it to win. That's it. That's all you can do. That's the formula. You can't create more leads. You're going to have to go out directly and say, hey, I haven't heard from you guys a long time. Do you still do that job in January that we did for you 5 years ago? Well, shame on you for not talking to them sooner. But the fact of the matter is, you got nothing to lose by asking. And then they say, yeah, we do that, but you did that for us that one time, but we've been using companies that are less expensive. And say, tell me more about that. And then find a way to solve their problem better for the same amount of money. That's how you can fill your pipeline now. It is boots on the ground, get to work, start calling people, take your extrovert pill, take an extra dose if you have to, and that will fill your pipeline. But the point is, we don't ever want to be in that situation ever again. So we can't expect marketing to fix the problem of never having had marketing in the past. However, we can expect marketing to create the situation where you're not desperate again. And let's talk about what that looks like. Welcome to your weekly dose of uncommon sense, helpful insights, and tough love. I'm your host, Tom Stimson. The Intentional Success Podcast comes to you through the generous support of Mertz Crew.
Mertz Crew helps top AV companies book quality AV freelancers. Your choice, your rates. We handle contracts, insurance, and payments. You save time, cost, and reduce risk. Start today at mertzcrew.com.
Now on to the show. So today's message is that marketing is not going to dig you out of a hole. If you put yourself into a hole, you have no future revenue, your leads have gotten bad, your customers are sour, you have one big customer that eats up all of your time. Launching a marketing initiative is not going to fix your business in 90 days. It's not that you shouldn't do it. We just have to have realistic expectations for what marketing can do for us. So it's not going to dig you out of the hole. However, if you do start marketing, it will keep you from slipping back into that hole once you're out of it. So we can get out of the hole. Yeah. Boots on the ground, call some people, chase some RFPs, win some business, keep the cash flow going. But you've got to put some marketing in there so that you can build the top of your funnel. Now, the key to marketing for me is looking at conversion. So when I'm sitting down with a customer and I'm asking, they want to talk about marketing and what they need to do, or if marketing is the thing they should be talking about. So I'm pushing the marketing conversation. One of the questions I have to ask is, what does your ideal customer look like? And how did you find them, or how did they find you? Tell me that story. Your best customers, where did they come from? All of our best customers came from referrals. Okay. When you say best customer, do you mean the customer that gives you the most revenue, or the customer you want more of? Oh, no, the customer we want more of. Oh, I don't know how we got them. The customer that has the most revenue was a referral. Somebody said, call these guys. They called you, found out they could beat you up on price, and they hired you. Now they're a big chunk of your business. That's not marketing, right? That's just fielding and settling for what comes your way. So conversion is, how did somebody become a customer? So if an ideal person finds you, how did they find you? Who did they ask? What did they ask them? Why did the person they were asking recommend you? And if your business comes from referrals, step one in your marketing plan is start asking for referrals, right? Everybody you do business with, say, hey, thanks, we enjoyed working with you. Who else do you recommend that I talk to? You go to industry events, you've met other people. Who do you think we should work with? Your good customers will help you. Your bad customers will be jealous of your time and not recommend you to other people because they don't want you to not have enough time for them, which is selfish, childish, and means that they're not a good customer. Your good customers want you to be wildly successful, because that means that they will continue to enjoy your service to them because they are part of your success. That's how it works. So conversion points. If somebody reaches out to you, how did you meet them? Were you at a networking event? If you were at a networking event and you got to talking and found out, hey, we're a good fit, here's how we can help folks like you. Why don't we talk next week? Great. Go to more networking events. Your marketing plan needs to involve a lot of networking. How much? I don't know. It depends on how often networking is what's doing your conversion for you. Make sense? Okay. Another conversion point is, if somebody engages with your content. They see something on social media, they find your website, you've posted or shared something that is interesting to them, and they engage with it. They go on LinkedIn and they say, oh, you posted a picture of a show, did a little case study about the problem you solved, and they make a post with, hey, and they tag somebody. That's the best one. They tag somebody, hey, Bob, look at this. Wouldn't this be great? That's engagement. Jump all over that stuff. This is low hanging fruit here. But if you don't post anything, you don't share anything, you don't have any lead magnets on your website, you're not having a lot of opportunities for that kind of engagement with your content or your media. The third type of conversion point is an inquiry. For whatever reason, they find you and they reach out to you. And this is a potential conversion point. It doesn't mean you're going to win, but if your best customers have an inquiry and they like the response that they get, okay, that often becomes that point. Hey, remember that when I first called you, I had no idea what I was asking for, and you guys just helped me out, and we've been together for 20 years. Thank you very much. Here's a little gold statue we had made for you. So inquiries are very valuable. Your marketing plan should generate inquiries. If inquiry is where your best business starts, market to start with inquiries. Okay. Here's how to learn more about us. Let's just have a quick chat. I'd like to learn about what you do. You'd like to learn about what I do. Let's spend 15 minutes together, right? A speed date. So your marketing plan should create inquiries. Now, another part of very effective marketing is in person. And while networking is often somewhere else, getting somebody across your threshold, which for me is one of the most powerful things that we can do for most of us, unless you in a crummy office warehouse space that doesn't show well, in which case do something about it. But most of you have nice looking businesses, and people will show up and find out that you're actually way cooler than your website led them to believe. I often tell a story, when I was in my Alfred Media days in the 90s, we were the new kids in town. Nobody worked with all the big players in AV production were on the East Coast or the West Coast or Chicago. Nobody was in Dallas, Texas. That's just a place you flew through on your way to the other coast. And so people thought we were a bunch of yokels. I mean, they literally they thought because we have accents and there's cowboys in Texas and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't until we started getting people to come visit us and they walked into the building and went, "Holy crap, you guys are legit. Look at the size of this warehouse. Look at all this stuff. Everything's so neat. Everything's organized. It's friendly. You sat down and have some barbecue." Getting people across the threshold of your building, getting them to your world is a very, very powerful marketing tool. And it needs to be part of your marketing plan. Because if you find somebody who's an ideal prospect, if you can get them across your threshold, I find that the conversion rate on those is twice of any other type of engagement. Threshold is the most powerful marketing tool that you have. Invest in it however you need to do it. And then number five conversion point, which was very valuable in our industry, is ideation. And ideation is, well, it's like it sounds. It's getting together with the potential buyer, talking about their project, and offering them ideas and solutions and suggestions. In other words, we're going to process your job. We're going to share what we think about it. You're going to give up some of your intellectual property. They're going to give up some of theirs. And in that collaborative process, you can find a relationship. And if your ideation goes well, that's a huge conversion point. Now, you might want to pick one of these to get started, but at the end of the day, if you have a full marketing plan, you need all of these things. Business development is going to do your networking. Your content marketing is going to create engagement with people who you don't know yet. Inquiries become a celebratory process. When somebody brings an inquiry, we need to be prepared. We need to take them through, make it a very valuable experience for them. Getting people to your threshold, that's extending invitations. If you've got a good prospect, say, let me do this for you. We've had a nice conversation. I'd love to know more about you, but you need to know more about us. Here's a plane ticket. Come visit us. We'll take you out to a nice dinner. I'll have a car pick you up. We'll put you up in a nice hotel. Come spend a couple hours at the shop, meet the team. Hey, maybe we can do a little ideation on your job. If you can get people across your threshold, that is going to be huge. And then, of course, the ideation. So lots of ways to develop marketing, but marketing won't do the job until you understand how you can convert a prospect into an opportunity, or how you can convert a lead into a prospect. Okay, that is the key, is conversion. So in the long term, you do need to expect marketing to work for you. Some things that you need to do is, one, is going to raise awareness. Okay, there's no downside to improving your brand online, right? Online marketing, raise some awareness, do what you can. You can extend that into things that you sponsor and participate in. You can extend that into where you network or where you exhibit your services. Okay, raising awareness about your brand is important. People need to have already heard of you before they start thinking about doing business with you or picture themselves doing business with you. Give them something positive to associate your name with. Okay, marketing is going to help raise the perceived value, and this goes hand in hand with raising awareness. But what is your value proposition? Are you conveying that? Marketing will help you do that. There's nothing wrong with saying we are the highest touch, highest fit and finish organization, and we're really expensive, but we work with very discerning clients. Versus, you can also say, we know how to stretch a dollar. We're going to give you the most bang for the buck. Okay. If you want something different, there's other companies to go to. You need to figure out what your value is and where you want to play and who you want to do business with it, and embrace it, right? You don't want all the business. You want the right business for you. Marketing is going to help you align with the ideal buyer. The test for this, when your prospects are calling you for the first time and they're using words and phrases that came from your marketing, that's a good indication that they're paying attention and you're saying the right thing. So if your ideal buyer says, yeah, I'm not a price shopper, I'm a value shopper, I said, well, you came to the right place, right? Let's talk about your perception of value, what's important to you, because that's what's important to me. There's so many things you can do with marketing to help the ideal buyer see that they are who you want to talk to, right? And another thing that marketing can do for you is can not just convey this perceived value, convey the value proposition clearly. In other words, it's a filter. If you're getting calls from prospects who are not well aligned with you, is because your value proposition is not properly conveyed. This is not about price, okay? This is about what you do that people appreciate. Not everybody appreciates everything. So your brand, your marketing has to convey that so that you don't end up talking to people who are only price shoppers when you're a value salesperson, right? So be clear about what it is and who it is that you're trying to serve. And that's what marketing does for you, which means you're going to spend less time processing non-ideal prospects, which means you have more time for ideal prospects. And trust me, your top of funnel can never be too big. Okay. Your capacity, if all you have are great prospects, your capacity to process the best of them is how big your business can be. Okay. And as I've said many times, and I wrote a book about it, your job is to turn down good business. So marketing, good marketing helps you turn down better business than you've been turning down in the past. And the better business you're turning down, the more successful you're going to be. So do one thing, start doing some outreach, talk to your customers, find out what's going on with them, say hello, remember what it's like to engage with somebody and where you have the most success. That's where you need to start your marketing. You know, you can start with networking, you can start with engagements, inquiries, threshold, ideation. Find your sweet spot and create more opportunities for that to happen, and your marketing will be a success. So there you go. Don't expect everything from marketing, but do expect conversion, because that's the whole point. Thanks for listening.
If you liked this episode of the Intentional Success Podcast, please leave a review and don't forget to like and subscribe. This podcast has been brought to you by the helpful folks at Mertz Crew.